One, two, one, two. All right. So good morning, and thank you guys for coming out and joining us for the second breakout session. So can we give like a round of applause though for the conference? Is everybody enjoying themselves on this morning? So once again, in case you didn't know, my name is James Brown. All right, now save the jokes, please. No, all right. So I'm actually, yes, James Brown, and I'm a manager in public affairs and marketing for Keystone First. And we are the largest managed care insurance company within the region. Feel free to stop by the table. So we have a table inside of like the expo room. So feel free to come by if you want like blood pressure exams and things of that nature, BMI, I believe in certain things that they are doing. And then if you have like questions about insurance coverage and being a part of the Keystone family, feel free to stop by and we'll give you more details. All right. So once again, thanks again for coming out on this day. And we're very excited to bring out the next session entitled Live Your Greatest Life. All right. So right now I'm going to bring on the Dr. Kathleen Walls, everybody. All right, so once again, before I do that, just as a reminder, we are recording the session. So it's going to be available online right like after the conference, okay? So feel free to check out the website, and you'll be able to also enjoy these again. So once again, I am thrilled to introduce to you Dr. Kathleen Walls. She is the owner and she is the founder of the greatest counseling and consulting in Philadelphia. She is a doctor of clinical psychology. She is a leadership coach, educator, a facilitator, and she is an author. So one more time, round of applause. Please join me in welcoming Dr. Kathleen Walls, everybody.
Come on now, James Brown. Can I get Can I get a little something? Exactly. See, she understands. Come on, look. Good morning, y'all. All right, we got to pep it up a little bit more. Good morning, y'all. Yes, that's what I'm talking about. She back there raising the roof. That's it. All right. So, I started my company back in 2005. And someone kept asking me, what's the name of your company? And I kept saying the greatest. And every time I said it, I would start laughing because it was like, who in the world is going to call their company the greatest, right? And what comes to your mind when you hear the phrase the greatest? Muhammad Ali, right? And I'm thinking people going to come into their session, I'm going to punch them in the gut and knock them out. Well, that's basically what I do. But I was like, God, I said, I keep hearing the greatest. But I'm fresh out of school. I'm fresh with the 2 letters in front of my name. I just don't feel like I can carry that. So in meditation and prayer, what came to me was that each letter would stand for something. So I said, okay, what you got in mind, Lord? And he said, how about this? The greatest stands for, the G, of course, stands for God. I said, okay, I'll work with it. The R stands for restores. I said, okay. The E stands for excellence. So now I'm at a pause. God restores excellence. And I said, okay, that works. What you got next? The A stands for activates. And the T for talents. I said, God restores excellence, activates talents. I said, okay, Lord. I said, that's great, but you told me the greatest. So now I got to figure out the ES and the T. So I went back into meditation. And what came next was encourages. And I said, what you be encouraging, Lord? He said, spiritual transformation. And I said, okay. Because here's the thing, in my spiritual relationship, God gives me suggestions and recommendations and encourages me, but we have what? Free will, right? So we can do whatever we want to do. He just gives me a little nudge and a little tap from time to time. And I said, Now, when I was going through school, they really didn't touch on the spirituality. But the reality is, most people have some sort of spiritual base and upbringing, all right? That guides their relationships, that guides their profession, that guides their behaviors. And so that made me start thinking about that. And I said, okay, what are the beliefs that we have? We have to start to understand our beliefs. And we have to see, are our words and our actions, are they matching? And is there a difference between the two? And that then led me down a whole path. And as I began working with my clients, this is what I started to recognize, that there was a difference between what they were saying and what they were doing. And so part of today is actually to sit and work, capital W-O-R-K, this out. Because we don't take the time to sit with ourselves and to clarify and to disconnect some things that maybe we put together that is actually leading us away from what we want instead of leading us to what we want. So by the end of our time today, my hope is that you'll at least discover one new action step which will guide you towards your greatest life. Like I said, this came back in 2005, so this was before living your best life. This was way before that, all right? And my thing is, let's live our greatest life. And let's clarify what gets in the way of us doing that. So first things first, you have a handout. Does anybody need a handout that just came in? All right, my granddaughter is going to bring you the handout. There's a couple. Raise your hand so she can bring you all the handouts. You have your pen. If not, get a pen out. If you don't have a pen, use your phone. The back of the sheet is empty for you to write. Write down what you want. What do you want? We have to clarify what it is that we want in life. There's nothing too big. So take a moment and write it down. There are different scriptures that tell you just write it. Make it plain. Make it simple. And you can start your sentence with, I want, and then fill it in. Now, I'm going to bump it up a little. Keep writing what you want. But now I'm going to ask you, what does your soul want? See, I'm going to start a church, and she's going to be my member because she over here talking about, Every time I ask something to say, It's that good food. What does your soul want? See if your answers are the same or if you notice that there's a difference. It's not negating the other, you're just getting clarity. And now I'm gonna bump you one more time. What does your soul really want? Now, I'm a doctor of clinical psychology. I was trained in what is called the psychodynamic model, which means that I look at the unconscious, the subconscious, and the conscious. Things that we're aware of, things that we're slightly aware of, and things that we're not aware of at all. So when I ask these questions, it is to bump things up into your awareness. Many times we will just answer first off, but then another thought will come up, but we won't pay that thought any attention. But that thought is there for a reason, and we have to learn how to acknowledge it. Then the next thought comes up, and it's like, oh, snap, I didn't even really know I wanted that. All right? But it is important to ask these questions of yourself, and it is also important to answer these questions at all. So just a show of hands, was there a difference with each of your answers? Anybody? Was there a difference between what you wrote down for what you wanted versus what your soul wanted? Did anybody see a difference in what they wrote? Couple people? Did anybody get the same thing each time? Okay, a couple people. All right. So now, what are you doing to achieve your goals? These are things that you want. What are you doing to achieve those things? Be sure to write it down, yes. So for some people, if you have said, I would like to get rid of, and I purposely say get rid of, 15 pounds before the new year. I do not say lose, because people have a tendency to help you find things in the form of cakes and pies and cookies and things like that, and especially around holiday time. So if you are interested in getting rid of 15 pounds, what are you doing to do that? So when we're looking at your goals, what steps are you taking to achieve them? Write them down. This is important for you to recognize, hey, I actually am taking steps. I talked to somebody the other day. They said they were eating chicken wings like every day, and they decided that they wanted to make a change. And so I said, okay, you were eating chicken wings every day. How many chicken wings? They said 10. I said 10, all right, so 7 days a week. So you're telling me you having 70 wings a week. They said, oh, snap, I didn't think about it that way. I said, yeah. I said, so how many wings are you eating now? They said, well, I only eat wings on the weekend. I said, okay, are we talking Saturday and Sunday? They said, no, just Saturday. I said, so you're down 60 wings. And they said, Dr. Walls, I never thought about it like that. See, they didn't see themselves making progress, but you did. You down 60 wings. So we have to take time to acknowledge and celebrate the progress that we're making as well. And what part of us, we have to train our brain to do that, because how many people here have a tendency to look at what they're not doing or look at what's wrong as opposed to looking at what you are doing and what is correct? Part of your greatest life is learning how to celebrate yourself and celebrate your success. It's not bragging. It's not being conceited. It's being honest. So now, you're clear on what you're doing to achieve your goals, and we'll get to the point where we have to get clear on what additional steps we need to take. The other piece is, what are you saying? We have to be mindful of the words that we say to ourselves, what we speak over ourselves. Many times we want encouragement from others, but we have to make sure that we are also what? Encouraging ourselves. There's a song that talks about encourage yourself, right? We have to make sure we're encouraging ourselves. I got up this morning and I was just laying affirmations out all over myself. I was driving, I was thinking about my granddaughter over here because I was just making up songs the whole time I was driving. I started to make a live and video just to crack her up. And I just kept saying, all I kept hearing was the song, don't forget who you are, you're blessed with it. And then I just kept saying, you're blessed, you're blessed, you're blessed, you're blessed. And I said, boy, you just blessing yourself the whole time. I sure am. And I just kept going, more and more and more. And then I started thinking about who's going to be in this room. And then I started saying, they're blessed, they're blessed, they're blessed. So then I started speaking over your lives. I didn't know who was going to be sitting here today, but it didn't matter. So we have to learn how to speak this over ourselves. So many times we'll speak to other people, but we won't give to them, we won't give to ourselves what we give to them. So we have to be mindful of what we are saying. Now, every time you say what you don't want, you give energy to it and you give attention to it. How many people here like to go to restaurants? All right, that's what I'm saying. When you go to a restaurant, do you tell the waiter what you want or what you don't want? Tell him what you want. Because if you tell him what you don't want, what does the waiter do? He just stand there waiting, right? That's why they call him a waiter. No, I'm just kidding. So he just stands there waiting for you to tell them what you want. It's the same thing in life. Just imagine that life is a waiter, waiting, literally waiting for you to say what it is that you want. Now, we've been to restaurants. Sometimes they bring you something that is like, dang, I thought I wanted that. And then you taste it and you go, what do you say? I don't want that. That's nasty. That's not what I expected. So you send it back. That's what happened to all my boyfriends. I sent them back. So I don't want y'all, I want my husband. So I waited for him to come. Come on, James Brown, give us some. So we have to be mindful, right, of what it is that we want. What are we saying? Where are we focusing our time and attention? Are we focusing on what it is that we want, or are we focusing it on what it is that we don't want? And if you find yourself focusing that way, guess what you're going to keep getting? What you don't want. So we shift it, and you can correct yourself in real time. It's okay. Sometimes I've gotten things and I thought that's what I wanted, and then afterwards, what happened? I didn't want it. So you know what I say? God, thank you very much for delivering that to me. However, I've changed my mind. I don't want it. I don't want you to think I'm ungrateful, because I am. But could you now deliver this? Now, it may mean I have to wait a little bit longer, but patience is fine, especially when I know I'm getting what I want. All right? So that's another piece of this. We have to learn how to be patient. we also have to learn how to delay gratification. I know. And just so you know, patience means waiting without complaint. So if you're complaining, you're not being patient, you're partially being tolerant. And patience is a skill that you can strengthen like a muscle. The other thing we have to be mindful is, what agreements have you made about life? Now, what do I mean by that? How many people have ever heard the agreement, life is hard? How many people have ever said life is hard? So guess what life is going to do? Life going to show up and be good and hard, because life wants you to be correct. So now, if you don't want life to be hard, what do you need to say? Life is easy. How hard was that for some of y'all to say? So, but we have to practice saying it. So I say, life is very easy. Things come to me quickly and easily. Honey, I had to do that in statistics class. It was hard to believe, but I had to trust that it was going to work, because I had to open up my mind and stop limiting myself. All right? So we have to take a look at our beliefs about life. How many people have heard no pain, no gain? And then they want you to go to the gym. That don't even make sense to me. I'm not doing that. My brother's a trainer. I said, I'm going to pay you to be quiet. All right? I'm not doing it. So now I had to say to myself, I enjoy working out. And I do. Right? But the no pain, no gain philosophy doesn't work for me. So I have to find something that's going to motivate me. Nothing comes easy. Anybody heard of that one? Well, I don't like that one either. I like things that come easy. People will tell you if it came too easy, then it's not real. I disagree with that whole philosophy. I make up my own philosophies. Now, I'm not saying some things I don't have to work for. Yeah, I have to work. Going to school to become a clinical psychologist, was it hard? Yes, it was hard. What was hard about it? I couldn't go to the club when I wanted to. What else was hard about it? I couldn't go hang out with my friends when I wanted to. I had to read all of them doggone books and write all of them papers. But I wanted it, so I worked towards it. All right? So now, did it come easy, though? Life opened up so that I was able to do it once I made the commitment to it. How many of you have ever had a goal that it seemed like once you did it, all of a sudden doors and windows, you got into the flow of life? It was like the yellow brick road just started laying out in front of you, versus there were other things that you wanted to do, and it seemed like everywhere you went, there was a wall, there was a block. And you had to determine, was this really what I was supposed to be doing, or are these messages that I'm supposed to stop? If you don't struggle, it isn't worth it. Heard of that one? Some people. So again, if these are your beliefs, life is going to show up that way. You may. Yes. So she said one is, if it's too good to be true, it's probably not good, right? Or not true. And so it sets your mind up. It wires you that way. It creates doubt when something shows up that is good. Oh, we can't trust that. That's too good. They trying to get over. It's like, I'm actually trying to give you something for free. I know you want something. No, I really don't want anything from you. I just want things for you. And that throws people off all the time. All right? So we have to look at the ways in which we've been programmed and take time to deprogram ourselves and then reprogram ourselves. I'm hard-headed. I have to get hit upside my head a few times. Do I have any people in here named Lump Lump? Mm-hmm. Loud and proud. Raise it up. All right. My thing is, if I done seen it happen over there, and I done seen it happen over there, it don't have to happen right here. You said, You need a couple? Okay, you like a couple? What? Right. Okay. And this is about being clear on who you are. If you need these things, and I will say this, I used to say I needed 3 confirmations, right? I needed to get it 3 times in order for me to say that's what I'm supposed to do. Then I was like, why it gotta take me 3 though? Like while I'm waiting for 3, I could have been moving on to the next thing. So I said, okay, let me go for 2. So then I started getting 2, and I had to answer, I had to trust that, right? Because now that kicks in, now I gotta trust. And that's a whole situation. So now, then it was like, can I do 1? I'm not saying 1 ain't, it's difficult. It's still a challenge. I'm still a work in progress with 1. But I had to learn how it felt when a 1 was right and when I said, no, I needed 2. So these are things that we can work on. Now, life is like a bed of roses. I worked with a client one time, and they were dealing with depression. And so we were working on these beliefs and thoughts. And they said one day, after we had been working together for months, they said, well, Dr. Walls, what do you want me to do? Stop and smell the roses or something? And I just sat there and looked at them, and they was like, well, why can't I stop and smell the roses? I ain't say anything. I just looked at them. They was like, I'm the only one keeping myself from smelling the roses. Dr. Walls, I'm going to leave now, and I'm going to go smell some roses. I said, okay, you go right on ahead. She realized she was getting in her own way. The roses are there. The roses are there to be smelled, to be seen, to be enjoyed, to be witnessed, right? So what are those things in life that are your roses? They can be literal roses, or they can be the essence of a rose. If you believe it, you can achieve it. Now that's one that we see on posters and everything else like that. This is where the challenge comes in, and this is where visualization becomes very important. For you to dream of your greatest life, you have to be able to envision it. I want everyone, and this is going to require trust, I will keep my eyes open on all of your things, and James Brown may as well. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes right now. And I'm going to guide you. And when you come out of this guided meditation, I'm going to ask you to write what it is that you saw. So when you come through, you can start to write down, because those images will be fresh in your head. So now let's inhale through our nose and exhale through our mouth. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And continue to inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. And begin to see yourself walking down a hallway. And you're continuing to breathe. And as you're walking down this hallway, you see a door at the end. And there's a beautiful glowing gold light around that door. And the closer you get to that door, it begins to open. And as you walk through that doorway and you step into that light, you start to look around and you start to see all of the things that are in your greatest life. You see the people who are in there. You see the objects that are in there. Some of you may even be smelling the foods, the flowers, the surroundings that are there. You turn in a complete circle to take it all in. And you feel at one with your greatest life. Spend some time exploring the space. Walk through it. Dance through it. Sit down in it. Whatever it is. Take note of what you're seeing. Take note of how you are feeling emotionally. Pay attention to how your body is feeling in this space. As you experience the joy of your greatest life, let it know that you are on your way to it. You see it clearly. And you are coming to it. Tell it that you will see it soon. And as you turn, you're going to come back towards that door and come back into the hallway. And before the door closes, take a look one more time. And as you smile and you turn back to come down the hallway, you're going to come back into this space. And as I count to 10 and you come forward, I want you to take the first few minutes to write down what you saw, what you felt, what you heard, what you smelled, the colors, all that you remember, your thoughts. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Begin to open your eyes and write down any thoughts, visions, memories that you had. We'll take a minute or two. All right, let's take a few more seconds. Get out your last thoughts, keywords that you need. If you needed to trigger your memory later, you come back to it. And that's the thing, the things that you wrote down, come back to it later. Continue to flesh it out. All right, would anyone like to share what did they see? That's fine. That's fine. Did you feel anything? Did you experience anything? You felt warmth? Yes. Okay, that's fine. And again, we only spent about 5 minutes, so you may need longer than that. So I'm glad that you brought that up. But the fact that you could see that far and the fact that you felt is very important, okay? So just take time later and go in again, all right? Anyone else? Yes. What's this? She said she ain't going into the light. I should have made it a purple light for you, huh? Okay. Your family was there? Okay, did you note that down for yourself, that you saw a blue light? Very good. Anyone else? You look like you want to say something. Okay. All right, so then a blue light. So you want to explore what these things, because each person has symbols that mean something for them. All right. Somebody called me one time and they were like, I keep dreaming about an old washing machine like down south on a porch. And I was like, okay. They said, what does that mean? I said, well, I don't know. What does it mean to you? I said, and then all of a sudden they were like, it makes me think about my grandmother. And it went this whole way. And I said, that message is for you, right? I don't have a connection with an old washing machine and that's all you. So you have to figure that out. So the blue lights represent something for you. So take time to find out what that is. Anybody else like to share? Go ahead. Go ahead. Breathing. Yes. Okay. But yes. Mm-hmm. Put it together. Yes. 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 Thank you. Thank you. So so that's the thing. It does take us, some of us, it takes us time to settle in, and that's fine. Other people, it's like they can drop right into the space. Each person is different. Like I said, if we put the word everybody together, right? Everybody is different, but we can also separate everybody. Everybody is different. All right? So just take the time that you need. This is also about learning yourself. Manifestation blocks. When things do not come to pass, what are some of the reasons why they don't come to pass? Not feeling or believing that you are worthy. So one of the things that I want all of us to say is, I am worthy. Let me hear y'all. I am worthy. I am worthy. Turn to your neighbor. We at church now, y'all. Turn to your neighbor and say, you are worthy. All right. Make sure you connect with the people's eyes. Don't be looking at their toes talking about you are worthy. Look in their eyes. You are worthy. I am worthy. Like I said, we got to speak things over ourselves, and we have to speak things to each other. Now, here's an exercise for you when you go. You ain't even got to wait till you go home. If you drove, look in the rearview mirror. You can go into the bathroom. But when you get home, look in the mirror and look in your eyes and remind yourself daily I am worthy. Take a video of yourself saying, I am worthy. Don't be surprised if tears well up. Don't be surprised if you start bawling, because all of you has to vibrate with that. All right? Another block, not being ready. Sometimes we say we want something, but we know we're not ready for it. So as they say, delay is what? Not denial. It's preparation. So we take time to prepare for it. All right? Another block is not being clear. How do we start this out? What do you want? What does your soul want? What does your soul really want? You got to get clear on what it is that you want. When you're not clear, you end up in all types of places. All right? Not enthusiastic. You say you want this, but you don't really want that. Somebody done told you that's what you want, but that's not your truth. So you got to get clear on what your truth is. And I know that was very hard for me. I used to say to my mother, probably starting at the age of 12, I don't know where you end and I begin. And she would say, what do you mean by that? And I said, you have your dreams and I have mine, but some of them overlap. And so I'm not clear where you end and I begin. So we have to get clear on what it is that we're supposed to do. Other people have agendas for us, but they may not be our agenda. So we have to get clear on that. And how do you know when it's yours? Because you're excited about it. All right, you're enthusiastic about it. You be singing in the car on the way here, blessing people that you ain't never met before. You're not open. You're so determined that it has to come to you one way that you don't even see all the other ways it's coming to you. Okay? I had the opportunity to hear Della Reese and meet Della Reese probably about 10, 20 years ago at this point. It's 2005, I think it was. And she talked about wanting the new Rolls Royce at the time. And she said, I want it. She said, now, I don't care how it comes to me. It can come to me in a contract for acting. It can be a gift from somebody, or it may be that I go out and buy it myself. She said, I'm open to how it comes. I'm clear on what I want. So you need to check yourself. Are you only open to it coming a certain way, which means that you're closed off in other ways? It's not healthy. All right, does your goal create harmony and peace? It may be something that will actually cause disruption, and you need to take a look at that. Not willing. Are you willing to work for your goal? I talked about going to school. I knew I was going to have to give up some things. People often use the word sacrifice. Here's the thing. You sacrifice something now so that something greater comes later. It's not sacrificing for the sake of sacrificing. No, I'm getting something out of giving this up. So I can't go to the club for 7 years, so that in 7 years, I now am a doctor of clinical psychology, which was my goal when I was 11 years old. All right? So sometimes we have to delay gratification. We have to give up some things, willing to do the work. Not prepared. Did you create space in your life? And have you done the necessary work? When I decided I wanted no more boyfriends and I actually wanted a husband, one of the first things I did was clean out my closet and make space for his clothes. Now, he didn't show up until about, 5, 7 years later, but I had space in my closet. All right? Is the time? Am I close to time? What time you need me to stop? I'm good? Okay. All right. How many? 15? Oh, good. Come on, y'all. All right. So we have to make space for those things that we want. All right? Not helpful. Are you giving or just receiving? It is a balance of both. What did I say? I am worthy. You are worthy. Right? It's not just about me. And it's also not just about you. So we have to have that balance. Here's a big one, and this is where trust is important. Are you in denial? Are you doing things to self-sabotage? Are you saying you want certain things, but then you're working against yourself? How does that work? Every time I sit up and eat them caramel and cheese popcorn after 10 o'clock when I say I'm not going to do it. All right? Are you self-sabotaging? And if so, do you have someone, accountability partner, or something put in place to help you, to check you, to let you know? You need that person who will tell you honestly, you're a little off. You're working against yourself. You said this was your goal. We can call those accountability partners. And sometimes they're coming from people that you're not expecting. All right? But that only happens when you are clear on what it is that you want. And then the unrealistic piece is, have you taken honest inventory? Meaning, have you really done the work to say, this is what I want, this is what I'm willing to do? It's not that it can't be achieved. It's just, are you willing to work for it? Remember, you can only send out one vibration at a time. And what I mean by that is, if I'm telling the waiter, this is what I want, that's what I'm focused on. While he's walking over saying, okay, let me get her a bacon cheeseburger with cheddar cheese, I'm not calling him back to say, and I don't want this, and I don't want that, because what is that doing? That's delaying him from going to put my order in, right? So I need to make sure I'm focused on what it is that I clearly want, give the order, and then wait patiently. So let's look at these steps to success. We're going back to the greatest model. For those who are just joining, Camille, would you check and see who, if you have just joined and you need paperwork, please raise your hand so she can bring you some handouts. And they're in here. Okay, thank you. All right, so the greatest, for those who are just joining, stands for God restores excellence, activates talents, encourages spiritual transformation. So one of the first steps is to be still. Anybody ever heard that one before? Be still. There's a little piece that goes after it, be still and know that I am, right? But that's one that most people have difficulty doing. But it's amazing, once you just be still, the messages usually come very quickly. You done spent more time running from being still than it takes for the message to actually get to you. So, a big question to ask yourself is, who or what is God to you? Some people were raised in different faiths, whether they were at church or at home. You have your own personal relationship with God. Who or what is God to you? If you believe, if you know, whatever it is. All right, and I've worked with all types of people. I worked with different faiths, different denominations. I work with people who don't believe in God. I work with people that know that there's something greater than themselves but not sure what to call it. I worked with everybody. So that's why the question is, who or what is God to you? And how does God guide your life? So I want you to just take a moment, answer those two questions, or start to answer those two questions. Because who or what God is to you is different than what you were taught, possibly, may be the same. Take a moment. And I'm actually going to give you all three, and then I'll be quiet so y'all can answer. The next part in restores. When we're talking about restoring something, we're talking about going back to its original position or condition. A lot of times we hear people will restore a car, right? They have, what is that, HGTV. They restore houses. People restore a lot of things. People come to therapy, why? To restore themselves. So now when you're looking at things that need to be restored, where in your life are you out of position, not living the way you want to or intend to? Where do you want and or need to be restored? Jot down a couple places that you want to work on. I used to sing a lot. I used to go take singing lessons every week for 9 years. Not to perform. I had no desire. I just want to sound good in the car when I'm singing to myself. I never knew if somebody was going to pull me up front and say, Kat, can you sing this? And I'd be like, okay. So I feel a little bit more comfortable. All right? So that's what I did. Then I stopped. And every day I hear sing. Literally, every day I hear sing. And some days I'm obedient to it, and some days I'm not. And the days that I'm not, I feel terrible because I wasn't, because I can't deny what I hear. So this morning I just sang it up coming in because I said what I'm not going to do is be a hypocrite and tell y'all to do certain things and me not do it myself. Okay? So where do you need to be restored? I claim singing as mine. Where do you need to be restored? And then there's excellence. That's excelling or being superior. Where and how do you excel? Let's start claiming what we do well. Where are my real singers in here? Y'all just came out the womb with something in your throat where you could just sing. Where y'all at? There's always one. Where are my cookers? Those people who just know how to cook something. It's like you can just take seasoning and just throw it, and it's just like, dang, I didn't know a napkin could taste so good. Okay, she over there. Where are my artists? You can draw. It just comes out of your hands, or paint or sculpt. All right, those things that you do. Where my dancers at? James Brown, your hand better be up. There are some things that you just do well. Claim it. Mine is listening. I knew by the age of 8 that I could listen well. People always told me. Older people would sit me down and they'd be like, how old are you again? They would tell me everything. So is it surprising that by 11 I was claiming that I would be a psychologist? No, not at all. I owned it very early. I say I have golden ears. All right? So what are those things that you do well? When and where are you at your best? And who are you at your best with? Because you know there's some people who you with, they didn't bring the best out of you. Say it again. That's right. But there's some people who all of a sudden you around them, you fly right and get straight. Who are those people? All right, that's her. They done told on you. So they hang with Get Right over here, so I'm glad y'all with her. Get clear on who those people are, all right? Move and use. Again, the A and T in the word greatest means activates talent. When we activate, we're setting something in motion. You're becoming more active. So in what areas of your life do you need to move? In what areas of your life do you need to be more active? The more you spend time, remember the energy, where you put your energy, where your energy goes, that's where your life flows. Don't make me stop dropping bars in here, y'all. Where your energy goes, that's where your life flows. No, I'm just playing. So you want to make sure you are clear on where you need to be more active. Think about water. When water stands still too long, it becomes what? Stagnant. And stagnant water what? Thank you. I don't want y'all being funky. All right? Y'all can have a funky fly life, but I don't want you to be stinking because you're not moving. So make sure you're being active in the areas where you want to be active. Then the T stands for talents, right? These are things that you have a natural ability or superior quality. Where do you excel? What are your talents? What talents are you using? And what talents are you not using? And if you're not using them, why? I did a podcast last night. All right, Purple, I see you. I'm coming for you. And someone said in the chat that they weren't using one of their talents because they were scared to be in the limelight. I said, now I'm not going to deviate right now on this show, but I'm coming for them. And they know I'm coming for them. Because if that light has been put inside of you to shine, who are you to dim your shine? That don't even make sense to me. Come on, Purple, what you got to say? Yes. Mm. Yes. It's real. That's right. Mm-hmm. That's right. Pull it out. That's right. Yes. All right. Happy early birthday. Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Thank you. Yes. That's what you think. But that's it. Somebody, Tanya Marie Evans, she is a spoken word artist, an attorney, and author, all types of things. One of her poems, she said, "Until your last breath, you can begin again." Until your last breath. So, to your point, what's your real name? Yeah, I'll call you Purple. All right, Purple Rain. Okay, Ronette. So as Ronette said, it doesn't matter how old you are. If it's something that you want to do, you do it. My mother talks about taking belly dancing. She is 82. I said, Mommy, if that's what you want, I will hire a belly dance teacher and you will wiggle in your chair like nobody's business. All right? So whatever it is, because again, this is about living your greatest life. And then the last part, the ES and the T, be open to change. So encourage means to inspire with hope, courage, or confidence. How have you been encouraged and by who? Sometimes you got to go back to the well if you can. And if that person is no longer here, you just have to reactivate what they told you. They said you can do it. Even if that person today is Purple Ronette saying, you know what, that lady stood up and said, I can do it. Her voice may have erased anybody in the past who said that you can't. Receive the encouragement. Be open to the way that it comes. Spiritual, relating to God, affecting the soul. How are you strengthening your spiritual development? Are you listening to songs? Are you reading texts? Are you talking to people? There's different ways to strengthen that spiritual muscle. And then the T, transformation, a change in appearance or character for the better. What areas of your life would you like to transform? So these are questions that I'm asking. I'm hoping you take the time to answer these. It is your life. It is your greatest life to live. So what are you going to notice after all of this? Obviously, one, you're going to be clearer, right? 2, you're going to be open to more opportunities. 3, you're going to be willing to observe, absorb, and release old thoughts, old patterns, and be open to new ones. You're going to be happier, and you're going to realize that happiness comes from within, right? Nobody can make you happy. It's your happiness, whether you choose to activate it or not. You're going to be focused. You're going to know what motivates you, and you're going to actively work towards your goals. And you're going to be expectant. Always expect the best. Always. If I was standing in here by myself, I would be having the best time. Y'all would have just missed it. But it wouldn't have changed me having a good time. Okay? Be energetic and follow your heart. Be positive. Move past the negative thoughts. The negative thoughts are distractions. The negative conversations are distractions. You have to learn that. And then you gain your muscle and move towards the positive. Be true and do the inner work. Work on and work through that which you need to. And then be grateful for success and quote unquote failures. Because if we understand everything happens for us and not to us, then we understand that it is developing us. And that's what life is about. It is about development and evolving. We may not be in puberty anymore, but it doesn't mean that we still ain't changing and growing and developing. And so with that said, if I may offer a prayer for you, if you don't want to receive it, it's fine. I'll give it to somebody else. But this is what I wrote. I pray that you live your life to the highest divine intention. I pray that you know that you deserve happiness and joy and that you can have them right now. I pray that love and peace be within you and around you at all times. And I pray that you know that you are one with the divine. I pray that you live your greatest life. And I pray this in the name of divine love. Amen. You're welcome. All right, James Brown.
All right, now, thank you so much. So now, if someone wants to reach out to you or contact you, do you have contact information? Because I'm sure that someone probably does one a one-on-one. so I'm sure. All right. So yes, Dr. Kathleen E. Walls, the greatest counseling and consulting. That's 215-843-3331 as Dr. Walls. All right. .com. That is the website. Right now, thank you so much. So one more time, though, round of applause, everybody, for Dr. Kathleen Walls. She was great, right? Life coach, comedian, singer, dancer, all that good stuff. On the behalf of the conference, I just want to present a certificate of appreciation awarded to Dr. Kathleen Walls. Once again, this is going to be awarded today, this day, 11th day of November, 2023. So thank you so much for coming and being a part of this conference today. All right, thank you so much. All right. All right. All right, now, so right now, lunch, she is so funny, comedian, I told you. All right, so lunch is now being served, and lunch is going to be served out here. So feel free to get up and grab yourself a box lunch. Once again, lunch is now being served. Feel free to go outside and grab yourself a box lunch. If you guys want to sit in here, that'll be fine, or go to the gym area. So today, I believe that they're giving out vaccines. So we have COVID vaccines available, flu vaccines available, as well as blood pressure. We're doing massages, and then on top of that, there is a cancer. I believe that they're doing breast exams for men and women as well. So once again, feel free to grab yourself a bite to eat. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy the conference. Thank you so much. And we're doing examinations. Though once again, examinations are for men and women. Okay, breast examinations within the nurses' rooms over here to our left. We are doing exams, breast examinations for men and women within the conference room. Please stop by. Thank you so much. All right, she said, please go. Please go. Thank you so much.